Minutes talking to myself, so my apologies if you clicked into that and just got me mouthing at the screen. It's kind of the frustrating thing because you don't get to hear yourself, but I did make a very obvious mistake, so I have fixed that. So on today's tip 5 was all about relaxing the abdominals, and one of the most useful tools I've found, although it's taken patience and perseverance, is using the Gorgeous ball from the Yoga Tune-Up family. So initially when I started with this, I had the ball actually even less deflated than this because it was just pretty uncomfortable to have a full ball. But as things have progressed and got better, I normally have my ball quite inflated. Now, if you don't have a Gorgeous ball, it's not the end of the world. These are about 7 inches. So any soft ball that you can take air out of would be fine. It also works pretty well if you roll up a small towel like a hand towel, or you can fold it into a pad. Either is fine. So I'm going to show you a couple of the techniques that I regularly still do actually, but did a lot right at the beginning. So when you have your ball or your towel or whatever you're going to do, we're going to work on one side of the abdominal wall first. So we're going to work on the space between the rib cage and the pelvis. So the ball goes into that space. Okay, Jan, let me know if you can't hear me because the other girls logged on and then I didn't have any sound, but I think I fixed it. So if you can't hear me, just type it in on the comments and let me know. Slightly annoying, but I think I fixed the issue. So when you're on top of the ball, it feels like you're a little bit sloped down one side, and that would be absolutely the correct sensation. And then you have a choice with your foot position. So I like to tuck my toes under and then use the leg off the floor, but you could keep the top of the foot down, whatever works comfortably for you. You rest your head down on the floor and then you slide the leg away from you. So if you're up on the toes like I am, you're pushing your heel out and away and then letting it release. If you're on the top of the foot, you slide the foot away and bring it back. What you're looking for is to feel that the pelvis moves down away from the rib cage and then moves back up. So it's kind of like your waist lengthens and releases. And this week in the tips, we played with this movement of one side of the pelvis being able to drop down, because in walking, that's what needs to happen. The side muscles really need to be able to lengthen and contract. An inhale is a really good breath for sending the leg away, and then an exhale is a good breath for letting it release. You can take this one step further by climbing up onto your elbows, and then as you push the leg back, you can pull yourself forward like someone's putting you on the rack in 2 directions, and then let it release. So as I inhale, it's like commando style. I'm going to pull myself forward on the mat, but then the leg prevents me because it's reaching back. And then the exhale is the moment to release. And you can do that a few times, but if you fish out whatever you've been using and then rest your head down, you might notice how different that side of your abdominal wall feels and the knock-on effect through the whole body. Like you may have a longer leg, you may feel that the front of the thigh, the front of the hip, the front of the ribs all sit flatter to the floor. So of course you would repeat that on the other side. And then there's a technique that Jill Miller from Yoga Tune-Up does on the front of the abdominals. Now, I would just be careful of this if you have diastasis recti, like a separation of the abdominal muscles. You just want to be really aware of where you're positioning the ball. So it actually goes just above the pubic bone, right between the 2 pelvic bones. Now, when Jill first taught this in the training I was in, I thought she was absolutely mad. I could not tolerate that darn ball being underneath me, and I had to let a ton of air out, so it was almost deflated. So if you're in that position, seriously, don't worry about it. I'm living proof that it does change if you take your time with it. So you rest your head down, and one of the things Jill said that resonated with me was, If the ball is really uncomfortable and the little voices in your head are screaming to get off, it's a clear indicator that you're holding so much tension here that the muscles can't just relax and yield to the pressure of the ball. So that might be your first thing, is just tolerating this for a few seconds until you need to get off and building up your tolerance time. I like it for practicing the breathing technique that I was talking to you about. So as you inhale, you should feel the front of the abdominal wall. Do this gentle expand into the ball. At the top of that inhale, you hold your breath and snap your stomach muscles up into your back. You hold on to that until it becomes slightly intolerable. And then you exhale and you slowly, 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 slowly let them release. So as you inhale, there's a natural expand, hopefully. If there's not, we need to look at your breathing practice. At the top of the inhale, you hold your breath. You snap the abdominal wall up into your spine, off the ball. Hold the breath, hold the contraction. And then slowly, as you exhale, let the abdominal muscles relax down and around the ball, seeing if you can just let them yield and let the ball have access. Then take the ball out, lie on your stomach for a moment, and just notice the difference. Do you feel, I hate to say wider because it doesn't sound like it would be a good thing, but it actually just feels so nice. It feels like you've really relaxed and opened everything up. Then you could take that into an all fours position, which is a great way to try to train the abdominals to be like that all of the time, where they can switch on and switch off as required. So in all fours, as you inhale, there's this natural expand of the belly toward the floor. Then you hold your breath, snap the stomach muscles up into your back, hold on to that contraction, hold on to your breath. And when it becomes slightly intolerable, a slow exhale, and you see if you can allow the muscles to relax toward the floor just the way you did over the ball. So as you inhale, there's a gentle expansion of the front of your abdominal wall. Hold the breath at the top, snap the stomach muscles up into your back, hold it, and then a slow exhale to see if you can get that sense of allowing them to release and hang. I really like the all fours version because you have gravity helping you. So if the sense of stomach muscles being allowed to relax and hang is something that you're psychologically struggling with, or just physically those muscles just don't know how to do it, working on the ball first teaches you the sensation, but then all fours, you have gravity really helping those muscles to release. I've had untold benefits from doing that work. It really has helped my low back. It's definitely helped my digestive system, and extremely good for pelvic floor issues. So I hope that was helpful. You can stick a comment in and let me know. I did put in today's top tip that I would teach an IGTV class tomorrow, or a live class tomorrow on Insta. I'm not going to do that because I have a poorly dog, but I will be teaching one Sunday morning from 10:30 to 11. So if you're free, I would love you to join me, and we'll explore a movement that uses a lot of the tips that we've played with this week. Thanks for joining me.